is up, everybody? This is O-Artistry here, and welcome back to the channel. Now we are going to discuss the two-player product. Basically, I kind of just want to give my own thoughts on it, as well as, let's unpack everything that I'm feeling about it, and then talk about how I would basically change it, because, spoiler alert, I'm not really a fan of it. Basically, when I first saw the box, and I saw the two-player set, and seeing Zeus on the front of the box made me really curious about this two-player set, because, hey, this is an amazing reprint of Zeus that is easily accessible for players to get, and I thought that would be awesome. However, further inspection of the box and seeing monsters like Cyber Dragon and Dark Magician Girl made me initially worried, but I wanted to give it the benefit of a doubt, because, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's my favorite card game. I always want to see it succeed, and I was curious where it was going to go. Until it was a few weeks the product was going to be released, and they secretly, they put on things like Twitter, Instagram, hey, here's this lineup of all these monsters that we could possibly be getting, which had Sparkman, Eldritch the Golden Lord, Dark Magician, and some other monsters, and that is when I got worried about the product, because I was like, why on earth is Sparkman in this two-player set that's supposed to teach you about Xyz summoning and Synchro summoning, a monster card that is predominantly used in Fusion and Link materials? So I didn't really understand why something like Sparkman was in this set. Even Eldritch, I was really confused about, because I was like, why is this kind of monster in this set? And then the product got released. So basically, a load of YouTubers who were sponsored by Konami got to look at the product and show it off. I think the face of Farfa recoiling at Fissure basically really sums up the set.
Mask of Darkness, Fissure.
Because it's like, what is Fissure doing in this set of all things? Now, some people are defending the product, and some people are basically saying what, basically giving their full thoughts on it. Now, I can understand why some people are defending the product. Basically, it is a set that is to teach new players or returning players, hey, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is how you play the game. However, looking at the set, it is already obsolete on its release day, and that's a shame. It is basically one of the most missed opportunities to go, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! This is how you play the game, and have it at a level that you could take to locals. As a fair comparison, let's look at the Pokemon set. See, a friend of mine and myself, they got this Pokemon kit that essentially taught you how to play the game. It had scripted, gameplay. It taught you everything you needed to know, but you could also take it competitively to events and it be usable. This you can't even take to locals. This would get annihilated at local plays. And I get, that's not what it's designed for. It's to teach you how to play the game. But this is not a fair representation of even that. No one would normal summon a Sparkman. I mean, looking at the scripted event, I get it. Your opening hands are full of vanilla monsters. So it's teaching you how to normal summon, how to set summon, how to look at levels, attack points, defense points. I get that, and I respect that's what they're trying to do. But that is so backwards and so far into the distant, past, that no one even plays like that anymore. If I was looking at Elemental Heroes and I was looking at a monster, I would normal summon, Strauss is the monster you would summon, because it's an 1800 attack point monster that has a built-in search effect or back row removal effect based on the number of heroes you control. that is a monster that helps you extend your plays from the get-go. Sparkman is just a vanilla monster with 1600 attack and defense points that you're not really going to summon unless you're using the Elemental Hero monster that requires normal monsters as fusion material, or maybe if you're going for goat format that you would use for Thunder Giant. But if I'm talking about today's metagame, that this isn't going to help. So, and I get it, like, basically people defending it because it's like, well, this is just the, trying to teach you how to play the game and how to get into it. But I think there are just better ways of doing it, because if I was, obviously I've played the game for a long time, and, if I was someone who was to put myself in the shoes of someone who was learning how to play the game, and I bought this product, I might be inclined to think that, well, okay, this will help me. It has decent staples like Dark Hole, DD Crow, Zeus that I can use, and I will take to locals. If I took this to my current locals, and remember, I'm the judge of my locals, if I took this product to these locals, they'd instantly lose. And you'd be paying to essentially lose. And, so it's like I said, obsolete from the get-go, because who normal summons? Even if I shuffle the deck, I took a deck with 20, I did the 20p strategy. You're talking to the guy who literally took a bunch of cards that kind of worked decently well together and added then essentially a side deck to help me get some wins with things like Castia, Fenrir, Ash Blossom, Zeus, Utopia the Lightning. I'm that guy who did that, and yeah, I managed to get 1 or 2 wins, but ultimately I didn't win my locals with it, because, yeah, I don't think Giant Rat's gonna help me get there, even though he's a level 4, but that's the point. Like, I literally bought a load of cards from my locals that were all 20p, put them together, except my side deck and my extra deck, that I could use whatever I wanted as my 15 cards, and yeah, it did fairly okay, but it would have been better than this 2-player product. But I'm essentially that guy, like, I did that. So, let's look at the box itself and unpackage what's in there and kind of help improve it, essentially. Because I was shocked at the lack of love and care this product genuinely had. First of all, everyone talks about the cards, but did you know there's no playmat in the set whatsoever? Yeah, like, I know that sounds crazy, but there is no playmat even in this set. No one's really talked about that. No one's looked at the 2-player set and gone, that, everyone talks about the cards and defending the product or against the product, depending on which stance you're on, but nobody has mentioned the things that make it, or what could have made it, pop a lot more, and maybe could have been a product that people would have bought. Because it doesn't even have things like a playmat, for example. Playmat, nice and easy. Have it a 2-player set, make it paper, and have Zeus on the one hand, on the one side, and have the Synchro Monster on the other. Nice and easy, that's a nice easy fix. Include a playmat. Next is card sleeves. Now, I'm surprised that obviously not every product needs card sleeves, but I would think for having people being introduced to the game, have a section in your script to say, hey, you should sleeve your cards because it's to help protect them, and having already sleeves in this box would do wonders. Now, you can go for 3 designs, basically, for your choice here. So, option number 1 is just plain black and white sleeves, because yeah, you're using Synchro NEC's monsters, so if you want to save some money and not make the product too expensive, you can just make it black and white sleeves and insert those. Option number 2. So basically, the second option is to have still black and white sleeves, but maybe have some gold writing on it, or maybe black and white writing on it, that basically the one will have, say, Synchro on it, the other says Xyz on it. Basically, it matches the products, so it makes sense. Or you can go for option number 3, which will make people want to buy it, because I know I would personally want to get it, is the card sleeves have the monsters that are based upon the design. So Zeus and the Synchro Monster. those would be sick sleeves. I don't think anyone would complain about having Zeus card sleeves. I think they would look absolutely sick, and I think people would be interested in getting those. Now, what else is a product or something that you would need to help you get started in the game? Dice and coins. So yeah, we've had a lot of Legendary Duelist sets that have some dice that come with it and have collector's dice. I think following that design, wouldn't you believe it, have Zeus and the Synchro Monster on black and white dice. Nice and easy. Basically, you know, players do sometimes need coins and dice. You know, obviously most people just use an app whether to determine whether you go first or second. For the coins, again, looking back at the Pokemon for inspiration, I know Pokemon have some sick coins that you can use to coin flip. You can basically put Zeus and the Synchro Monster on basically for the front, and you can say that's heads, and have the back of them have the Millennium Eye for tails, and it kind of looked like the Master Duel kind of coins, so it kind of has that nice synergy with it as well. So that's basically the box itself, you know, and what its contents have, that I think would make the product pop that much more, because it's like, hey, not only are you getting these decks that you can have, but you're also getting a nice playmat, you're getting nice card sleeves, you're getting some nice coins, and you're getting some nice dice. So obviously that would bump up the price more, but I think that would work more in its favor because you're getting some cool additional stuff with it. Now keep the script, but obviously as a caveat, we're gonna have to change a lot of the cards. Basically, I had a thought about what would be useful for players to learn and how to play the game. And simply put, you can do this nice kind of mix of two decks that I think would do decent, and that you could then get more cards for to bolster your because that's the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, they want to get you structure decks and star decks, but they always say to get more packs and things to help bolster them, and they normally do packs and things to help essentially, you know, those structure decks and star decks out alongside them. So that's what they normally do. So let's look at two decks that I think would help you not only learn how to play the game, would help you be on a more competitive level. I'm not saying that that these would be tier 0, anything like that, but I think would help you in your local play, so you have more of a fighting chance, but also that they have good support out there and they are consistent with that support as well. So let's look at the Xyz first. So for the Xyz monsters, nice and easy, have a kind of Yuma style with like, because they've already got Gaga Magician in there, you put the Xyz monsters being like Utopia. Now, depending on if you want to increase the value of the box, you could either then have the second Xyz monster being Utopia Lightning or Utopia Double, or if you want to have it a little less down the card, you could have it be that the 2500 monster that's kind of, I can't remember, it's kind of like a Chaos Xyz monster that also goes on the top. So basically, what that does is it gives you a nice monster like Utopia, who is a generic 2 level 4s, which is splashable in any deck. It is a warrior, so remember that's also important, and basically gives you those extra materials that you can put on top of it, meaning that when Zeus comes on the board, it can use its effect twice. So that is nice for players to learn how to use. Then you can also, so that's 3 cards that we've got. In the final space, Gagaga Cowboy. I think that would be a nice reprint for people, so people would be interested in the set. Basically, it's nice, it's consistent, having those level 4s, you know, go into the generic plays. You can use warriors. There's a lot of warrior support in general, and I think just, yeah, your common spells and traps, put some reprints in there, and I think that would do well for the Xyz side. Now for the Synchros. The Synchro side basically is Black Wings, because Black Wings are the poster child for Synchro plays. When they first came out, they were almost topping events, and then when they got support, they were topping events, and that was back in the day. Now, they've had a lot of support since, but what are Black Wings designed for? What do they do? Well, essentially, by having Black Wings with different names allows you to special summon different ones from hand. You can easily get a tuner and a non-tuner basically out in your hand, and you have to normal summon these monsters first. So for your opening hands, for example, let's say the Xyz monsters, you get Goblinberg as your first normal summon. Then it allows you to special summon another level 4 monster. So it's already teaching you how to normal summon and special summon at the same time, and you get to Xyz on top. So basically that teaches you all the basics in one turn straight away. And that's the exact same with Black Wings, because Black Wings, you have to normal summon one first, then you get, which could be the tuner, then since you have another Black Wing with a different name, maybe Zephyros the Elite for example, then that allows you to special summon it in attack mode, or maybe you normal summon Zephyros and then it gives you Gale the Whirlwind for your special summon, since it's one with a different name, and then it allows you to synchro summon. And I'd go into Armor Master. Then we've also got maybe I can't think of their names now, but I'll put them up which ones I think, and then obviously you have the synchro monster as the boss monster. But I think going for level 6s and 7s would be genuinely nice for maybe a level 8, so that it's nice, easy synchro climbing that you can do with the deck. And you can put DD Crow still in the synchro deck, because that is a Dark Wind Beast monster that fits with the archetype perfectly. So I think that would be nice. Have things like Allure of Darkness, so it allows you your +2 draw, and then banishing a dark monster, etc. So yeah, there's basically plenty of stuff that the Black Wings can really do that allow you those effects. And then slowly lower down the card you include your searches, etc. well into the script, so that you don't have to necessarily shuffle straight off the bat. But that's essentially what I would do with the box itself, because yeah, you've basically now got 2 sets of monsters that are Wing Beast and Warrior, which one is Dark Attribute, the other can be whatever attributes you want, but basically that's a lot of good generic support and splashable extra deck monsters for the Xyz, for all your supporting needs essentially. Meanwhile, Black Wings, it was not necessarily like recent, but they did have a Black Wing pack not too long ago, and I know some of its support is cheap as chips, so you could either include those, or maybe have some nice reprints, or you can recommend buying that pack, and those cards are kind of easy to pick up. So yeah, basically those sets I think would do amazingly well. So the box would now look like this instead, and I think ultimately that would just look so much better. So yeah, essentially what we're looking at now is 2 decks that are way more consistent. They still teach you how to play on the most basics of levels, but also advanced plays. And then it also teaches you the mechanics that they are based on, so synchros and Xyz. The box also now has a 2-player playmat. It has, card sleeves, it has dice, it has coins. And I think ultimately, yeah, that as a product would work way more. Because that's the thing, like, basically, I want Yu-Gi-Oh! To succeed. I want new people to sit down and go, hey, I want to learn how to play this game, and, what products can you recommend to me? Unfortunately, I can't do that with the current one, but if they designed it like how I've suggested it, I think that would work so much more better. I think it would really help it out, because, yeah, this works more. It's way more consistent, and that's the thing. And these are decks that are, they're still kind of being used. So I'm not like, I'm not saying they're perfect, but they're way better than what is already been released in the sets. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe for more content like this one. And as always, party on, peeps. Take care, guys. It was great to see you, and we'll see you again in the next one.